Blackface is, of course, utterly outre, and there's just no need for it. Plenty of talented Africans to fill appropriate roles. And what is an appropriate role? Any non-specific role, for a human being. Also, a specifically African role, like Harriet Tubman or Martin Luther King Jr. Black British actor Jodie Turner-Smith, a woman, played Anne Boleyn, one of the beheaded wives of Henry VIII. Honestly, I can see it. Breadth of features are different, and of course, skin tone, but yeah. Such casting is called colorblind. Well, that's for sure. Well, no, not blind. Sort of deliberately negative, like a photographic negative, when it's a historical character. In such a case, all attempts at verisimilitude go by the board, to use a phrase I've never used before, and which is not related to the boards of the theater. They're keeping the role female, though, for some reason, which is that they are homophobes, or transphobes, bigots anyway. Wokist Hollywood is doing a lot of race swapping, to use an opaque euphemism. I'm talking about blacks, or browns, or tans, coffee, caramel, peach-colored, for whites. Never Asians for white, though. Not yet, I notice. So, as I said, blackface is worse than Hitler. It's as bad as being a Zionist who stole Palestine from the Arabs. I'm saying that so I don't get canceled. We're all supposed to be hating on the Jews right now. When you've lived as long as I have, it's hard to keep track of who it is we're currently supposed to be hating. Jews, white so-called males, MAGA, I'm sure the list is longer than that. I'll send a letter to the White House. They have a pamphlet. Who to hate? Parents, Catholics. So, blackface, as I said. Racist. But what about brownface, or yellowface, or whiteface? I think of trans men acting like, pretending to be women. It's Xface, as in Latinx, or Latinx. It's that Xing out of gender in Spanish nouns. Spanish has a lot of gender. I just don't see the need for a Hispanic to play a Hispanic role. There's that moronic term, white Hispanic, sort of defeats the purpose of all that diversity. Are they diverse, or are they the same? Hispanics. It's confusing, so confusing. All this is very insensitive and racist. Seems racist, but truth be told, people have a right to be racist and insensitive. They have that natural right, part of being human, with freedom of conscience, even if they're wrong. You can believe what you want to believe. You don't act on it, but believe it. That's what freedom is, the right, not the necessity, the right to be offensive. Civility and good breeding should be the norm, and tolerance, actual tolerance for what is obnoxious, will take care of the rest. It's pathetic that we need to remind them of this. The opposite of freedom is coercion. So, to return to the matter, I think it's racist. That's 6 syllables, a very impressive word. It's so bad to require that actors play only their own race, but it's just as bad, totally, to play some other race. And it's moronic to suppose fictional characters even have a race. It's fiction. Details can always be changed easily. Reality, things that aren't real, cannot be changed so easily, like sex or race. Make your own list. So, the Globe Theatre in London cast a black youngster as Romeo. He's just too earnest and breathy and smiling to be pleasing, and the ahistoricity of it is jarring because it was set in Elizabethan England's idea of Renaissance Verona. In a modern setting, there's no need for Romeo being any specific race at all. It's not inherent in the role in these contemporary times. Same sort of colorblind casting in the film of As You Like It, not the Laurence Olivier one. And there's a BBC production of Midsummer Night's Dream with an African female. We just have to redefine the word when she's called fair. Fair enough. Offhand, I don't recall any BBC attempt to cast an Asian, East Asian, in a comparable speaking part. That's odd. The Royal Shakespeare Company did a 12th night with probably a Pakistani festi. Truly awful, but not because of race. I'd never seen any actor work so hard as that poor guy. Just not good casting. Point is, any length of hair, any nose shape, any skin tone, any mere detail of physicality need have no impact on the role. So a dwarf as one of the two gentlemen of Verona. Nowadays there are some excellent little person actors. So no need to cast them as weird dream visions or as comedy props. Once you're not an adolescent anymore, the old funny man references to midgets just isn't funny, man. They're depending on the condition itself to be the joke. Lazy hack stuff. That's early Woody Allen, maybe not so early. Old-time radio used dialect humor, accents, Italian and Irish and Jewish. It was a scream. Deadly unfunny to us, irritating. There was a very popular show, Duffy's Tavern. A lot of dialect humor. Unlistenable. Truly awful. In the 1940s, they loved it. Tastes change. The essence of humor is surprise. The way babies love peekaboo. And with dialect, the surprise has worn off. So, not funny. So, Hispanic is such a mixed bag that just about anyone could play it. I'm about the only exception, tall, lanky, blue-eyed blonde. Africans can play Hispanic. Asians can play Hispanic. Europeans can play Hispanic, just not me. Maybe Australian Aborigines can't play it. And given the wide phenotype of American blacks, do we truly need only ethnically African-American actors to play such roles? Well, as an affirmative action thing, sure, maybe. It's not like there have been that many non-musician, non-criminal roles open to blacks prior to, the 1970s? Fortunately, the audacity of hope has changed that forever. There is a part 2 to this. It's that important. The link is in the description.